So most of you guys know that even though I'm clearly American, I've been living in England. Since last September, I've been studying at the University of Bristol to get my master's in English literature. Gosh, that feels so formal. And right now, over the summer, I'm still in England. A lot of you guys have asked about that, but I'm still here and I'm working on my dissertation, and that's due in September, and then I've completed my one-year program. I don't yet know where I'm gonna go. I might stay in Europe, I might go back to the US for a little bit. Regardless though, I mean, England, we're not done, and Europe, we're definitely not done. It's actually kind of stressful that I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I will figure it out. Probably in the next few weeks, everything will sort of just solidify. But one thing is for sure, I will be leaving Bristol. So a lot of you guys have been asking for me just to talk about my experience here in England, especially as an American. And I've actually been meaning to do this video for a while, so here it is. One thing just to start, if you're an American and you're coming to England, just be prepared. They say cheers for everything. I noticed this like the first week that I was here. I still remember the first time somebody said cheers to me. Is that weird? Maybe? Probably? I was in a Tesco or a Sainsbury or something, and I think I just moved out of somebody's way, and he said cheers, and I just kind of stopped for a second. I was like, whoa, that's not what I expected. If you're British, you're probably thinking I'm either crazy or you're just laughing at me. But still, it's really weird. It's not just when you clink glasses before you drink something, and they say it like for everything. Hello, goodbye, thank you, what's up? Okay, that might be pushing it just a little bit, but still. Okay, so now that we've covered that, I just had to get that out there for you guys. England in general is absolutely beautiful. There's this stereotype about British people that probably a lot of Americans and probably Canadians know, that they're supposed to be rude, and really I don't feel like that holds up. I mean, there are rude people, like there are when you get any mix of people in any city, but I really don't think that they tend to be colder. I read somewhere that someone said that British people, as opposed to American people, tend not to be so superficial. So rather than being superficially sweet to somebody, they just don't really react, so that kind of comes across as cold. So maybe that's it. Maybe there's just less superficiality in the relationships, to where I've been here long enough where I recognize it as not being cold. One thing about England and Europe in general that I really, really like is the public transport. Now, I know that the US really can't get by with doing that just because we're so much bigger. I mean, if you had a train that ran from one end of the country to the other, it would take you days to get there. So obviously it's not practical in our case, but I love that things in England and in the UK and in Europe are so compact. I can get a train to Edinburgh from here in Bristol, and if you're not familiar with the geography, if you're not British, look it up. I mean, it's from one end almost to the other end. So it's really an advantage when it comes to traveling, and obviously I'm here as a student, I don't have a car, I'm not going to learn how to drive on the left side of the road. So it makes it really convenient that I'm still able to get around really easily. Trains are probably the main public transport that you use when it comes to going like between cities and things, but you also have buses and coaches that go pretty much everywhere you need to go. And then you have really cheap flights. I've discovered that in the UK, as well as just in Europe in general, that's also connected. What's really funny is when you're talking to a European and they think that things that are just a few hours away, that really are not that far away from each other, they act like it's the Shire to Mordor. Americans find that a little bit entertaining. Another thing that's really cool about the UK is, even though it's a small chunk of land, relatively small, I apologize, British people, don't be offended, it's kind of small. But there are so many accents just stuffed into these little regions, and so many of the jokes that people make are based on these regional accents or just the differences between the different places. And I'll be honest, as an American, it was really, really hard to pick up. I don't even think that I still get some of them. I mean, to me, all you guys' accents sound awesome. Let's be real. I also find that a lot of days, not every day, but people comment on my accent when I go places. There are plenty of Americans here. I mean, if you're an American coming to England, do not think, especially if you're in London, but do not think that pretty much anywhere you're going to be that unique. There are a lot of Americans, and of all places in the globe, England is one of those hot spots because we speak the same language and it's a different culture. It's Europe still, so there are a lot of Americans here. I have American friends that I've met just since I've been in Bristol. But you still do have an accent, so you still stick out somewhat from other people, and I do find that once in a while I have been poked fun at, just good-naturedly, of course. Like me always ordering my coffee. Apparently, some British people think it's really funny to say coffee like an American, except they always do it more like New York, like coffee. I'm like, I don't say coffee. People also try to make fun of the D sound, that everyone thinks it's a D sound for the Americans, like the T is a D. It's really not, it's actually a different sound. Linguistics. But it sounds like a D. I feel like I've been rambling on and on and on. There are so many other things that I could talk about this. If you guys want me to do a follow-up blog post or something and talk about a few more, I have plenty, so I would definitely be up for that. So just let me know in the comments if there's any interest in hearing some more things like that. But for now, I'm going to stop rambling because I do have a dissertation to work on. Let me know in the comments what you think about the things that I've said. If you're English, give me some insight. If you're an American traveling to England, or if you're not British but you have been to England, you can leave some more things down there that maybe you've noticed. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. It is so hot in this room. What is this English summer?